Good evening, creative friends. How's everybody doing this evening? Hope you guys had a beautiful, wonderful weekend. It was nice. It is a little bit windy today again, but we've had a good time. We've spent some time with family, my daughter-in-law and my son and little Bristol. And I am ready to create and craft with you this evening. I'm pulling us up on my iPad because I've got my phone turned around so you guys can see the comments. You guys could see the writing better. Let me take my glove off real quick so I might be able to do it this way. There we go. I always like to welcome everybody in. There we go. I have already started staining because I didn't want to waste your time on staining, because I figure you guys know how to stain. So I will show you what I've done so far here in just a second. I have got this primitive star from Craft Deals. It was just regular pine color. And I just put a coat of dark walnut stain on here. And I've done that on both sides. And now I'm just going to set it to the side and let it dry. And this is the stain I'm using. I'm using the Minwax Wood Finish Semi-Transparent. And this already came tinted like that. I didn't have to get it tinted. And then I have two shims. This bigger one I cut off, and shims, if you don't know that, they are thicker on one side and thinner on the other side, and I cut the bottom off and try to make it a little bit jaggedy. I should have broke it, but it is still okay. It'll serve its purpose. And then I have a smaller shim, same thing. It's thicker on the top and thinner on the bottom, and we are going to make a cross out of these. But I am going to stain this as well in the same color as soon as I get some more stain out. Good evening, Miss Carlene. I hope everybody is doing good. Hope you had a beautiful weekend. Hope spring is coming your way. I know. And when you stain this is rough wood, so it might pull some of your fibers out here, but it is okay. You just have to be gentle. Lots of things are blooming here. We have all of our oak trees are blooming, so allergies are crazy. Our dogwoods are blooming. My pink dogwood is blooming. I'm going to have to go around and take some pictures and post them whenever it is sunny again. Today was a little bit overcast. Let's see. What else is blooming? My snowball bush is just about in bloom. Lilac is blooming. Forsythias are blooming. I mean, there are so many things that are already in bloom or just about ready to bloom. My daughter has bought a plant, a strawberry plant, I think it was at Home Depot, in a pot, and it already has strawberries on there. So we're hoping that we're not going to get another frost. I mean, we will protect it, but still, we're ready to get those little seedlings out. She is planning on planting a garden. Food for us and food for the chickens. Because, you know, we gotta provide for everybody. All right, I got that one stained up. I'm gonna lay it over to the side. And let's stain this one up. And these are rough. These are rough, cut, rough. They are shims. They are not meant for fine art, so to speak. But we are just using them for an old rugged cross. and they are perfect for this craft because I want it rustic, I want it primitive. So this is the perfect size, the perfect shape. Everything is just right. Just remember, you're gonna get splinters with these, so be careful when you stain them, when you handle these. You will have the chance of getting a splinter or two. Trying to get as much stain out of my sponge. I use these Harbor Freight sponges. They come, I think, 6 or 8 in a pack, I can't remember. But those are really easy to use. I use them about 8 times, 4 on each corner and each side, and then I toss them. Sometimes I even use them one more on the sides, but most of the time at least 8 times. And then they go in the trash. And I don't put mine in a little Ziploc bag. I just lay mine to the side and I just use the other side. All right, I got this all stained up. That's what this one looks like. And these two stained up differently because it is different wood, but I am okay with that. I'll go over this one more time right here. Because like I said, I don't mind it being rustic. That's the look I'm going for. I save my gloves, so I take them off very carefully. I normally wear 2 gloves, but I just didn't put the other one on. Close this back up. The stencil I am most likely going to use tonight is not available at the moment. It is an older one, and it is not in stock, and it probably will not be restocked, but a lot of you might have it. If not, there is others that I have added into the comments or into the description. I am struggling here with my, goodness gracious, my wet wipes. They did not want to come out. When they get to the bottom, they all get tangled. I've added 2 other ones that can be used for this to make a tag. And you can use pretty much anything that you want on a tag, or you don't even have to do a tag. But I wanted something on there. So I am going to show you what I've picked out, what we have. And then we can decide here in a little bit on which one we want to use. I've got my favorites. But like I said, there are so many options. And be careful when you cut your shims. I used snips. I've got some snips that I've bought to do specifically the shims with, and I literally just nipped my finger. It wasn't even much, and I nipped my little finger. This is the one that is not in stock anymore, or is not even listed anymore. It's one of my old-time favorites. You can also use this one. This one is still available, and it is on sale. This one is the Faith mini tag, and it says Amen, Pray, and Faith. The Faith Family and Farm mini tags, you could use Faith. That would be a good one to use. That one is available. And then you have Easter, He is Risen, and the church and the cross and the little lamb as a bonus. That one is available as well. And look how cute that little lamb is. So those are some of the ones that are available that would be great. Let me dry this real quick. Hello, Miss Bonnie. Hey, Miss Barb, I love the Prince Star. Yes, spring is in the air finally for you too. I'm so excited about our craft this evening. I can't wait to see what it looks like. And like I said, I went ahead and stained this, and I'll tell you the measurement here in just a moment of the star. I just want to make sure we get this dry. I'm going to get the sides dry too. I am going to go over it with my 120 sandpaper. And it is probably going to leave a little bit of white on here, but it's okay. We're going to paint over it anyhow. I just like to sand over it one more time to get the raised grain. You know, it raises the wood when you put product on here. And I just want to go over it real quick, like, and sand that down a little bit. You know, I got white on my hands, so let's wipe this off and make it all nice and clean. We're going to do a couple of layers of paint because I do want this to be chippy, old, primitive, antique, rustic, all the things. All the things. I want all the things. I'll go ahead and dry these two real quick while we are drying. Then I'm going to show you the pit berries that I picked. The pit berries came from Factory Direct. The star came from Craft Deals. I do not have an affiliate with them or with Factory Direct, so check out either Melissa Bradshaw with Junk and Craft Treasures or Cindy with Berry Jam Crafts. They got Craft Deals. Yeah, my brand just went not working. They got Craft Deals affiliates, so you can use theirs. I am going to put my wax. This one just happens to be from Country Chic. I am going, can you guys see this good? Let me turn you down a little bit more. Let's see if I turned it too far. I am just going to go over all of it. But I want chippy, 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 chippy. So I am going to chippy this up, especially on the edges. And since I'm not using a oh my goodness, a transfer, I'm okay to put the wax everywhere. And then I'm just going to use the Dixie Belle paint because I didn't bring my Country Chic over here. So I'm just going to use the Dixie Belle Magnolia. Really don't want to mix two different paints. Give me just a second and I'll get my Country Chic one real quick. I apologize. I meant to pull that out and I forgot. I really didn't want to mix the two. So this is the Country Chic. then it made a noise. This is the pit berries I'm going to use. It came from factory direct. And look at this beautiful, beautiful sprig of pit berries. Aren't they beautiful? They got reds and greens and the cream color in them. Chippy brush at hand. Sorry, sometimes I don't know what exactly you guys can or cannot see. Get these two out of the way. I am just going to put a generous amount on here, and we will scrape it back. You don't have to do the sides, but since I went a little bit overboard right there, I am going to do the sides now. Things happen. Sometimes the unintended things turn out the best. And the, what are these called? The bristles, I will get rid of here in just a moment. One other thing you can also do if you want a rustic or chippy look, you can use salt wash in your paint and add that, or you can do baking soda. It will give it a raised look, like a bumpy look. I am getting ready to order me some milk paint, so we were going to start experimenting with some milk paint. So that will be a new journey for us. I love the look of milk paint, so I'm going to try it out. I'm going to try new things with you guys and see what kind of fun things we can create. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the back yet. I don't know if I am going to leave it brown, if I am going to stain that as, chippy that as well. I'm probably just going to take my brush when we are done here and just go over it in the back. Good evening, Donna. How are you this evening? Yes, the Prim Star. I've been wanting to create with that one for a long time, and the time just was not right yet. So I just waited a little bit longer, and we are ready now to use it. I'm just going to do another quick coat on here. Again, this is the Country Chic paint, and I cannot remember at the moment what color this was, but you can use Dixie Belle as well, or any kind of acrylic paint. My brain is not working well tonight. I don't know why. I know I'm excited about this project. This is vanilla frosting. That's what this color is. I want to make sure that we are dry. And see, I can just rub over it, and those bristles that were on here are just falling off. And we are going to put another coat over top of this, and we are going to put, the last coat is going to be this mustard yellow, and this is called fresh mustard. That's like, where is the name of the color? Get my scrapey tool, my fancy dancy scrapey tool. All I use this for is scraping. Big old tool for just scraping. And everywhere that we had the wax, it is scraping off the paint. So right here at the edges where we had put a lot of wax, see how easy it is to remove that paint? I am going to go both ways. I am going to go top to bottom, and then I'm going to go side to side. I thought I had more on the middle, but I guess I didn't put as much in the middle as I thought. As I'm saying, don't be afraid to use that wax. Sometimes you think you have a lot on there, and it really isn't. In between, clean off your tool. You can also use one of those little tools from the Dollar Tree, one of those little scrapers. Don't forget to hop over to Essential Stencil this evening and see what I'm thinking that Amanda is on this evening. And see what they are creating and crafting. Yeah, in the middle there's really not that much to scrape off. So this next go around, we are going to put more wax in the middle. I mean, it is looking pretty cool already with just that little bit scraped off. And clean the back side off. Like I said, I am going to run that brush over the back. So I'm not really worried about what the back looks like. And I'm just going to take my board and clean that off. I'm also going to use my 80 grit sandpaper and sand a little bit. We want this chippy looking. And see how much more this is taken off. See how white my sanding sponge is? I'm going to put a little bit of elbow grease in here. One thing that I found out, if you tap it with something, you see how that is coming off? You got your sanding sponge clean again. Let me brush this off down here into my trash can and reveal our prim star. He is looking pretty good. Let's wipe our mat off so we won't transfer things. Quick clean up and iron on. Does it not look awesome already? Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take our wax on the edges, because we want to rub off color on the edges, but I also want some in the middle. So we're going to put a generous amount on here. Because this one is going to have the yellow on there. Now let's put my wax back up. You can use the same thing with candle wax. You can just get a candle from the dollar store and use that. Before I use my yellow, clean this up. I am just going to paint this back side real quick. Use my 120, clean that up a little bit. Also, I want this to look nice from both sides. And I am just going to use my brush. That way the back side will look finished. And I am just dabbing my brush off on my paper towel, not paper towel, my coffee filter. And just like that, we got this side finished. And if that's all you want to do to your star, that is perfectly fine. Just do this. I'm going to dry this real quick. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your interactions, your encouragement. I'm here to inspire you. I hope that you learn something, you get something out of it, and that it blesses your heart. This looks good just the way it is, and we could leave it, but I want that yellow on there. Look at this gorgeous yellow. And I am just going to use this same brush. That is a beautiful mustard yellow. I love mustard yellow. And this paint has a top coat built in, so you really don't need to seal it, but you could most definitely seal it with wax. Top. Do you guys like mustard yellow? What is your favorite color? Do you use mustard yellow mainly in the fall for fall crafting? Or do you use it for primitive? I'm trying to get the sides here. I think this is going to turn out good. I'll get a little bit more up here. As you've seen, I did not put a very heavy coat on there. Because I want these other colors to come shining through. So I didn't do solid coverage. I'm going to add a little bit more. You could also do a crackle. That would be pretty. All right, I think I am good with that. I'm not going to put this paint up yet, just in case. I'm going to come back and add a little bit more, but I think we are done with the paint. So let's dry this. So what color or when do you use mustard yellow? Do you like it? Is that a color you use? And these are the tags that I have picked out, and you can let me know which one we should use. The cross with Jesus on there, or faith, which has a cross up front. Or Amazing Grace, and we can either just do Amazing Grace or use the greenery as well. sure that this is dry. And I will show you where the tag will go here in just a moment. Let's get our tool bag out. And we should see some brown, some white, just all kinds of colors popping through. It is looking amazing already. I just love what little bit we've scraped off already, and it looks good. Love how this is turning out. Chippy goodness. Do you decorate with chippiness? I love chippy. I love vintage. I like antiques. I feel like the pieces have a story to tell. There's just something about old pieces, like, you know, I've got several old hutches that I've got on tag sales or through Marketplace, and I just feel like they got stories to tell. I've got several vintage pieces. I've got my mom's old sewing machine. I've got another old piece. I've got a little yo-yo that I used to have. It's a red wooden yo-yo that I used to play with as a kid. As a kid, not a kid. And that thing is old. I mean, I'm 62 and I had it when I was little, and I don't know if somebody had it before me. But man, I don't let anybody play with that. I love that thing. Now do you see how that white is coming through? I just love this look. But I just feel like aged pieces have some history. There's a story behind it, and I don't know, I just love that thought. So I like old, I like chippy, I like antique, and sometimes I find pieces that I'm like, I wonder what this was. I wonder what it was used for. And it's just nice to find out. You know, my brother had given me a ricer, and I'm like, I didn't know what it was. He still knew what it was used for. I had no idea. And I'm like, what is that? So now I know it's a ricer. I've got several vintage tools, kitchen tools. And to me, it's also preserving history, and that's probably why I like the vintage stuff. I just feel that's history. We need to preserve it so we can pass it on and show our kids. This backside will have a little bit of the yellow on here. I'm okay with that. It does not bother me. I'm going to lay this to the side here in just a moment. clean this up first, and then we'll that way I can sand to this a little bit. Got a big old chunk out right there. Look how yellow this is. I like the brown coming through on the edges. That just looks really awesome to me. If you don't like the vintage look, it is okay. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do the vintage look at all. You can just paint it in one color or do like I done it on the back. Whatever your style is, that is the way that you should create. Get yourself inspiration and then make it yours. Wipe this down. There we go. And look at this. This is beautiful just the way it is. And then we have this side. So you can decide what your look is, how you want it to be. I love that. Thank you, Donna. Yeah, I haven't gotten it from Dixie Belle yet. It's on my list. I love yellow mustard. Don't know why I do, but I do. So, I had a thought. We could use, and first I laid the book on my printer and made a copy, and that didn't work out too good. I can still use part of it, so I'm not throwing it away, but it is not the way I wanted it. So I printed it out again. I just took the page out of the book, laid it on my copier, and copied it. And we can add this on here. It would fit nicely on here. You know, rough up the edges, age it out. Then I also printed it on mulberry paper. This is mulberry paper. You see the grains in there? We could use the mulberry paper and put that on here. So let's just imagine, I've got to lay it my way first, and then I can lay it your way. Sand this down real quick. This is what we're going to do. So let's see, I can put it this way. That'll cover it up, so I'm going to have to see. That's why we experiment. I think I'm gonna go with the mulberry paper and do that. And I'm gonna move it over a little bit so I can get the old rugged cross all the way on here. And then we're gonna add the cross, and we're gonna add the pip berries and ribbon and some other things. Now while we are having that here, I lost my fabric. This is going to be the piece of fabric, because I figured linen for Jesus. It is going to be right here. Let me lay it out. So you guys going to have to let me know whether we're going to use Amazing Grace. It will not have the tag part. It will just have Amazing Grace and the greenery. Let me lay this out so you can tell me which one you want on here. Or we can do Faith. So we could do Faith. It'll be just the word on the tag. And we're going to make it a little bit smaller once we have the word stenciled on there. Or we can do the cross with Jesus. It will not have this, but it'll be just the cross and Jesus. Or the Amazing Grace. And for right now, I'm just going to lay the Faith on there, and I'll let you guys decide. And we're going to add our pipberry on there. And then you're going to have to decide on whether you want this fabric on here to drape down. We're going to put a knot in it, and we're going to drape it down. Do you want that one, the check? Or do we want to go with the stripes that will represent Jesus's stripes? And then you have the linen for the burial cloth, and by his wounds we've been healed. And I will put holes on each side right here and run a wire through it. Or I might just put a wire here, but I think I'm going to do a wire right here, put holes in there. So you guys let me know. I'll add this, decoupage this on and glue the cross together. Do we want the striped fabric to represent the stripes? Or do we want the check? Do we want Faith? Jesus? Or Amazing Grace with the greenery? Or just Amazing Grace without the greenery? So those are your choices. While I work on the other part, you can participate. And I am going to wet my brush. This will help get the mulberry paper to have that jagged edge. This is just water. I could have used my water pen, but I had my brush laying out, so that's what I used. Thank you, Donna. I like the Amazing Grace of Faith one too. I thought that would be really good with this. Now the mulberry paper is a little bit tougher than just regular paper. It has the threads in there, the pulp. So sometimes you have to be a little bit tougher to get that off. It can get stuck on the fibers. That's the word I was looking for, fibers. I'm like, what is the word? And I like repurposing old hymnals and music. I've got to cut this because there is a piece of fiber. I'm going to cut that out. I don't want to see any of the words on here, so I'm going to cut that out. Now this is what we have right now. I'm going to lay this back on here so I know which way I need to place this. Okay, that looks good right there. And I will age that out a little bit. Don't have my Mod Podge brush, so I'll use this instead. Since that paper is thicker, I can just go straight on this paper. And then we can use the antiquing wax or the dark wax to darken up this paper and make it aged as well. Make sure I don't fold it over on itself. That will not be good. Another nice thing about this type of paper is that you can lift it back up if it's not where you want it to be. And I am gonna check this out one more time. Oh, wrong brush. It's like, why is there no Mod Podge on there? That was the wrong brush. I'm going over the top so that I can make sure that this is down. need just a smidge more. Make sure that this is down right there. Let's dry this up. And I like that you can see the fibers and you can see through to the gold underneath. I kind of like Faith too because it has the cross on it right there. So we can decide. Get my gator sander and sand that off. It is down really good. I do want to get my other glue because I am going to use my liquid tax to glue this on. I'm just going to use the same brush that I've used for the Mod Podge. I put my finger there so I know where to start with this glue. It does not take long to adhere. And you notice I did not go all the way to the bottom because it's going to hang off a little bit. I'm just going to push it down. Trying to figure out if I wanted to lean this way or lean this way. I think I am going to do it this way. So I just need a little bit of glue right there. See how I measure where I need it? It wiggles a little bit when you push it down. but it will hold, I promise. And I put the thicker part to the left, the thinner part to the right, the thicker part to the top, the thinner part to the bottom. While we are letting this dry, turn it around that you guys see. And you can clamp this if you want to. I'm going to leave this out in case we need a little bit more glue. I'm thinking we're going to go, this one would look better, but I think we should go with the stripes. Which one do you guys think? The stripes or the check for the, to tie it in the middle? I'm leaning towards the stripes. While we are waiting on that to dry, should we do the greenery on here, and should we do Amazing Grace, or do you guys want Faith? That's empty. Forgot to get my brown out, so bear with me just a second. I wasn't thinking that I needed brown. Going to use my 1/2-inch brush. I'm going to go with a stripe, I think. So we want to switch to Faith. I do like Faith. I think, because we already got the old rugged cross, I'm going to do Faith. I like Faith. Let's do Faith. And you know what? And we can do it interchangeable. If we don't like it, we can add something else. There are so many wonderful stencils in the Essential Stencil collection that would work for this. That would look really good. Everything just shifted a smidge. I don't have anywhere to tape it, so I am just pressing down on it and holding it in place and hope that it is not gonna move. But you cannot go wrong with either one of the words, or you can do amen, because amen means it is finished. Make sure you don't have no paint on your hands, because otherwise that's going to get stuck on there. Now we have Faith. Let me put this paint up before I'm going to wear it. I really like the check, but I think for our purpose here, I think we need to do the stripe. And all I'm going to do is I am going to come right here in the middle. I'm going to bend this one down. And what I did, as you see, these are all straight. I just took them and curled them around my fingers and made them a little bit curly. And we can wiggle this however we want these to be. All right, what do you think about this one? This one is not laying the way I wanted to. And I would cut it off about right here. Or maybe I'll leave it hanging. And then this is gonna go right here. I know this is a really, really special piece. I'm gonna glue it right there and I'm gonna glue it right here. And I'm gonna use a little bit of my 3-in-1. For one reason, I did not turn my hot glue gun on. I am gonna have to turn my hot glue gun on and put a little bit of hot glue right here. Let's see. I am gonna make this a little bit smaller. I just cut it to see if how big I needed it for the and I'm gonna move this up. That is not dry yet, so I can lift that up. Once my glue is ready, I'll fix these once the glue is set. And then I can move these to where you can read the word faith. This glue does set pretty quick. And I think these are the perfect colors. I know this is not white, but white for God's purity, red for the blood that he shed, and green for the evergreen, for the circle that has no beginning or end. And I will fix this up once I've got that glued in really well. I will probably tack that right there. So I tack it right there, put a little dot of glue. And here's our project. I've got to wait to see what it looks like in the camera because it takes a minute. It's on a delay. Should we go in and add a little bit of the dark wax and stain that up a little bit so it looks aged? And I think I'm going to do the same thing because that yellow to me is a little bit too bright. Thank you. It is a very special product. It is a project of love, most definitely. Special for this Easter season. But I'm going to take my Waverly wax and I will go over this and darken it up a little bit, especially these edges right here. And then I will go over with the Kills dark wax and do the linen. And like I said, this piece tells a story. That's what I'm going to use for the fabric. He is the star. He is the light. That's what the star represents. The cross represents him dying on the cross for our sins. This is his burial cloth. By his wounds we are healed. He got the stripes for our sins. He got hit and hurt. Thorn of crowns. And then you have, like I said, the colors red, white, and green. Red, white, and green. Yeah, red, white, and green on there. And you know, you can do the same thing for, and of course you got the old rugged cross, but you could do the same thing for patriotic. You can turn this into a patriotic star and use a cross and use the red, white, and blue colors for our country and create a patriotic star for our 250th. Exactly, that yellow is a little bit bright and it will tone it down. If we use some of this wax, it will tone that down. It'll match it better to the brown, and then add a little bit on there and it will give it that aged look that I like. So I hope you enjoyed this project. This is available if anybody is interested. This is a piece to me that is not just for Easter. It is a piece that can stand out all year round. I am gonna put 2 holes in here, and then I'm gonna use rustic wire and make a wire hanger so it can be hung. And I'll put a little bit of curly cues in there, but you can use so many colors. You could have used purple for the draping, or white for the draping, or the cream color for the draping. There is so many different ways you could have designed this piece with meaning and pointing back to Christ for dying for our sins and being resurrected on the 3rd day. Faith is what gets you there. The faith in Jesus and surrendering to him. So faith was the perfect word. You have to have faith and trust in him. You guys have a blessed and wonderful evening. I appreciate you being here. Please sprinkle it out, spread the whimsy to others, and I hope that you enjoyed, that you've learned something, that there was a technique that inspired you, and that you will create something similar. I appreciate you. Post pictures if you do, and I want to see what you've created. You guys have a blessed evening. Hop over to Essential Stencil at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, and see what Amanda is creating. And you guys have a blessed, the good night, dear, good night, yes. Thank you so much. You have a blessed evening and a wonderful week ahead. I'll be back on Thursday evening, 6:30 Eastern. And until then, you be blessed. I am going to turn you down so you can look at this beautiful creation, and I can turn this off. Well,